Hi guys, Scott from Kalo Gym Equipment here. I wanted to run you through the Spirit XBR Series. So that's their recumbent bike series that they have. There's 3 models in the range. They're all going to be the same chassis, same comfort, same feel, same quality. We're just going to go through the main features of it, and then I'll run you through the 3 different models and what you get with each model. So all of the XBR series by Spirit Fitness come with this beautiful mesh backrest, which is full height. So it does support all our back, all the way up to our shoulders, rather than a lot of the cheaper bikes will have those mid-height backrests, which can get a little bit uncomfortable and not support all the way. It allows us to really soak into that backrest. So being mesh, it can hold us in the right position and hold us ergonomically, but still allow us to be comfortable and still allow our back to breathe so we don't get sweaty backs and clamminess and uncomfort in there. To start with, we've got a step-through frame. So if you do have knee injuries or you are a little bit unbalanced, etc., you don't need to hike your leg over. We can simply just step through, hold on to these handlebars or these ones, sit back onto the machine, and then we're kind of nice and safe down low, so not up, perched up on top like an upright exercise bike. The pedals, little things that Spirit do coming from that medical rehab background, they put weights in the bottom of their pedals. I know it doesn't sound like much, but it does help a lot. What that weight does, it means no matter where I finish that pedal or whatever I do with that pedal, it's always going to land in the perfect position for me to slide my foot in. So you're not going to be mucking around trying to find that foot pedal. It's as simple as it's always going to be in that position, and I slide my foot in, move that around, slide my next foot in, and then away we go. You've got handlebars down by the side here, which they serve a few different purposes. They're here to keep me feeling safe, something to hold on to, something to kind of embrace my core as I pedal. They also run the heart rate sensors to give us an idea on where our heart rate is. And they've also got some controls on there for plus and minus, which allows us to adjust the resistance up and down via magnets without having to lean forward and use the console. So once we're going, we can just use the thumb controls down here left and right, so we don't have to let go of this. The computer features are simple, but they do offer a lot of in-depth features in there if you want to dive into it. So you've got pre-programs, which will take you through different resistance levels. Most people just jump on, press start pedaling, and you can adjust the resistance either down here or up there, and everything's going to read out on a screen. Your speed, your time, your distance, calories, your heart rate, everything you need. You've also got an iPad rack up here that springs down and locks in the iPad. That is nice and in line with my face here, so it keeps my body in a nice upper posture, looking straight at the screen if I do want to watch the footy, Netflix, anything like that, or even read a Kindle. Amazon Kindle can go on there as well. If you don't want that and it's in the way of watching a telly over there, 2 screws on the back, that unscrews and we can get rid of it altogether. Now, as I mentioned in the beginning, this is the XBR range by Spirit Fitness, and there are 3 models in the range. You start with the XBR 25. As you see the product here, this is what you would get with the XBR 25. There's nothing it's really missing. There's just a few little features that you can upgrade. When you jump up to the XBR 55, it's the same machine, but we put a touchscreen console in the front. That's going to allow us to have our Netflix apps, YouTube is all built into the console. Now, you don't need to do that. You can always just use an iPad. But for those who like it all embedded into the display, the XBR 55 will allow us to have that touchscreen. Everything else remains the same. Then you go to the XBR 95. That's our flagship model. That is the most popular model in the range. The 2 main selling features that you get from the XBR 95, which is the exact model we're on here, is it doesn't plug into a power point. So the XBR 25 and the XBR 55 need to plug into a power point, and the XBR 95, the top model, generates its own power as you pedal. Now that means you can plonk it in the middle of the living room facing the telly and not have cords running anywhere. Or on a nice day, you can wheel it out onto the patio and get some sun and wheel it back in. The other selling feature that the XBR 95 has, which is this is one of the best features that I've seen on a recumbent bike, is the mesh backrest can recline like a car seat. So we can just tip it back like that, open up our hip angle a little bit to be a bit more obtuse, and that stops that crampy feeling of our belt line. If you're like me, I've got a little bit of stomach there and it can get a bit tight, and this allows us to kind of just recline back a bit and just be more comfortable as we go through here. All the models are going to give you the ability to slide that seat forward and back, but the XBR 95 adds the added feature of having the backrest adjustable as well. So whichever model you choose to go with, we've got them down here at Brookvale, we've got them in stock. You cannot go wrong whether it's the 25, the 55 or the 95. I think you just need to look at the 3 different models and figure out, okay, do I want it to be self-generating with the backrest? If that's the case, if you want the reclinable backrest and the self-generating, we go the XBR 95. If you want the touchscreen, we go the XBR 55. If you want to save some money and just get the stock standard machine without the reclining backrest and you don't mind plugging it into a PowerPoint, that's the XBR 25. Other than that, they're the same machine. So if you do find yourself getting a bit confused about that, just give us an email or a phone call or even pop down to the Brookvale showroom and we're happy to run you through it all.